Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Speaking to item 1302, which I guess is now under board matters. Last time I came to speak about this item, and I pointed out the fact that this board has refused to discuss policy items publicly at the dais and the agenda. And what happened at the rest of the meeting confirmed that statement. You have a policy up for consideration that's going to change how regulations and policies are reviewed, and not a single board member spoke to the merits of that item. It would be a first reading, but at this point the board is ignoring first reads by not even discussing, not even speaking to. And then the board decided they were going to just bring it up under consent, which means if the board, until it was finally pulled, thank God, but this board initially was going to push through an entire policy without anybody on the board speaking to the merits of it, which tells the public one of two things. Either this board is doing things in secret and planning things out in secret, or these board members aren't actually looking into the details of these policies. Both of those are not good things. When you're changing the policies, and a majority of this board was here when this particular item was amended before, back in 2018. So this should be an item that they're familiar with. But if this board is not going to be digging into the policies that they're discussing, that's a problem. The only comments that were made were from one board member who spoke back and claimed that I was accusing the board of changing their procedures for how you pass policy. I'm not saying y'all have changed your procedures. You're just not doing the work at this point, or you're operating in secret. Either of those two things really needs to stop. We need public discussion by the board on what's going on here in this county. We just passed a consent agenda where we have $13 million being spent. Can we at least get a breakdown on what's going on? Can the board talk about that publicly? We just passed an audit plan. Can the board talk about this publicly? We just passed a boundary change. Can the board talk about this publicly? There's no public discussion on this board anymore about the things they're doing. A whole agenda was created with nothing after the consent agenda for this board. It's time to start doing the work and actually digging into the job. Thank you.